Well, hey there, it's Jen.
And Alka, welcome back to another episode of our show, whatever it's called right now, but it's for you, the Zazzle designer, and we're giving you tips and tricks to help you get from where you are now to where you really want to be, which is, and what's stopping you? What's that obstacle in between? And one of the biggest things that we always get asked is, you know, how do I make money? And it's not like make this product and you're going to have like a windfall. It's understanding your business. And so we want to dive deep in. This is going to be a longer episode, so make sure you stay to the end. We've got so many great points for you. You're going to have to hear this, and that's my biggest message for you is hear us, because we're not here to get rich quick scheme. We're not here to give you a quick fix. It is more than that. You have to give yourself credit. You have to give yourself credit that, first of all, you are capable of running an online business, and you're going to use the Zazzle platform. You're not just a Zazzle designer that's throwing up a store because it's a hobby. It's actually your store, which is going to create your livelihood and your business, and you're using the platform in order to make it happen, right? Because you could pick Etsy, you could pick Shopify, you could pick Amazon Merch, you could pick any of these things, but you're picking Zazzle. And so we're here for you because that's what we did. We picked Zazzle when we first started, and we fell flat on our face, right? The first year, Jen and I each, and there's a story there, which we can get into in a little bit if you want. Put it in the comments because we're live. If you want us to tell you that story, but if not, we'll move on. But the main thing is that we learned, and we're going to help you make sure you don't need to spend all those years learning. We're going to ramp your experience up to get to the meat, which isn't always pretty and isn't always fun, but it's really important because then you actually start to see progress, and then you realize, ooh, I can do this, and boy, it's actually fun, right? So let's get into this. So the importance of knowing who you're selling to on Zazzle is actually one of the biggest and most important reasons as to how to sell. So, but most people go like, well, I have no clue, right? And how am I supposed to know? I can't even talk to people that are on the platform because Zazzle doesn't give us that opportunity. And so that's what makes it harder, but we're here to champion you on, and we're here to give you some great advice as to how that can happen for you, okay? Because it worked for us, it worked for our clients. We've helped people make over $165 million in sales on the platform that they weren't going to be able to do on their own because they tried stubbornly on their own and it didn't work. And then they kept going like, well, it's not working, but it's not that it wasn't working. It wasn't that they were getting the help they needed. So we're going to dive deep into that help today. And hopefully that'll give you some aha moments to go like, okay, this is deeper than I understood. And Jen and Elka, even though this is going to be a long video, this is the tip of the iceberg. Let's keep diving deep into this. Okay. So Jen's got a whole bunch of points that we're going to get started on. And if you have questions since this is live, I want to see it in the comments, like help me understand this point, or I get it now, or I just want to make sure that we're very interactive here because we don't do a lot of lives, we do a lot of recordings. And so this is an opportunity for you to interact with us and get some more personalized information. Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about the importance of knowing who you're selling to on Zazzle. So first of all, the background to that is that you need to know who you're selling to, right? So we talk a lot about our perfect avatar and your perfect customer. So we're not going to go through figuring that out in this video, but this is now the importance of knowing why you need to know that person, right? Because that person who you're targeting is going to translate into potential sales. And the reason why that is the following. So you create more appealing designs, right? When you understand your audience and understand who they are and what they want and what they need, you create designs that resonates with their tastes, their interests, and their lifestyle, right? So if you think about this person that is on the internet searching for something and they're looking for a specific design, you as a designer or a seller on Zazzle, you are imagining what they want and what they need and providing that design for them, right? For example, like a wedding planner wedding planner or somebody who's planning a wedding, and we talk a lot about weddings, so it doesn't have to be specifically a wedding planner or somebody who's having a wedding in the near future, but they'll look on Zazzle for elegant, customizable invitations, or whether it be rustic, boho, bohemian, all of those things. They have a certain style in mind already of what they want, right? If a bride is getting married, then they have this theme that they're going to go through with their wedding, especially depending on when they're getting married throughout the year, and also the trends and the styles that are available, like, trending at that point in time, versus a pet lover or somebody who is on the complete opposite side of what we're talking about with weddings. They're wanting maybe cute, funny, pet themed things, like, for example, like a dog, best dog mom ever mug, or a blanket with their dog photo on it, or things like that. So you really have to know and hone in on, the fact that you are then now creating these more appealing designs on the specific product types available, which we will get into in a minute as well, because this is now just talking about the appealing designs, right? You have to think about that person, what sort of design sparks their interest and why they would be attracted to that design versus a different design.
And it's not even just like, oh, I like this better than something else. That's not even the point here. The point is, as we always talk about, intentional products where you understand what the customer would probably say yes to in terms of opening up their wallets. And that's what you're going to focus in on designing, right? Um, it's not so much like you're serving a need, whether the need is I want to laugh because I want to look at my mug every day because I love my pet, but I have to be at work and I miss my pet, or is it I've decided my wedding is going to be wildflowers and I need that beautiful wildflower card that no one else has, and
Mm,
that's why they would be on Zazzle. And so if you meet them where they're looking, then you are just all of a sudden like we've opened the doors to the jackpot, right? If it's just like, oh well, my friend or my relative said that my art is great, so I'm going to post it online and think that it's going to sell. Sorry, but that's not going to work, right? Unless you have raving fans that you can all say, hey, I posted my stuff on the Zazzle platform in my store, go check it out. If you can do that and push traffic to like literally make people come to your store on Zazzle, great. But most of us are not in that position to like rein all these people in and go buy my stuff. Instead, we are dealing with unknown audience, and we just want to tap into a certain market that's already available, ready to buy, and we want to make sure that we meet them where they're at. Okay, so
mhm.
that's super, super important. Okay,
All right.
but then you have to like, and it says resonate with their tastes and interests and lifestyle. Exactly that. Like, is it a pet owner? That's a lifestyle, right? You have a pet, you identify with that. Whereas, someone else needs something that they're looking for, such as like the invitation, because they just turned like they got engaged, and all of a sudden they have like deer in headlights. All this stuff is coming at them. I need this. I need this. I need this, and they are going to be so happy that you just go, here it all is. This is exactly what you need, right? People are just going to love that even more than like, I like this wildflower design over this one. Like that's being like less of like looking at it from a perspective that's a whole picture. And people don't shop based on value and quality. Actually, they shop with emotion. So
Mhm.
if you can target that person with them feeling easier about like and at ease about buying all this stuff because they didn't realize they had to buy all this stuff. They were just excited they have a ring on their finger. And now it's like, shoot, responsibility. If you can make it fun and go like, I got you covered, boy, they're going to be your raving fan, right? And they don't need like just like they'll just tell you, what do I need? And then you go here. And so you've made the sale. Whereas some other places, like with the pet mug, for example, you want to get them at their humor level, right? You want to be also resonating as a pet lover or a pet owner, where you go like, yeah, this would be just so hilarious to have this as an office pet mug for a pet lover, because I would buy it. And yes, this is where the I comes in, but most of the time it's like, even if I like it, would it resonate with everybody else, right? And that's the biggest question, and it's always the hardest to say yes to or no to, but it's the right way of thinking rather than just I have an idea and it's going to be amazing. Okay. Super, super important. That's why we lead with this one. I cannot stress that enough. And most of you are going to say, but I don't get it. Like, I don't know. And that means that you're in the wrong niche, right? You have to start with something they're already familiar with, where you currently resonate with, and you maybe have even been a customer and you are seeing the need and you're going to fulfill the need, right? And that's going to be the beginning of you understanding the concept of running a business that's a merchandise business, where someone needs to say, this is going to be valuable enough for me to say yes and give you my money. And so if you look at it from that perspective, it changes everything, right? Because most of us as designers came to the Zazzle platform going, I need to make money. I need to make money online. And we forget at the beginning, because we have a need, that it's actually a need that we're serving. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope
I
that.
think that's really important, that point that everyone who first comes onto the Zazzle platform, it's like you've probably been on other platforms or other venues trying to figure out how you can make money. And that's your driving factor, or your main desire is that you need to make money, right? And so it kind of creates a disconnect where you're just thinking about your own personal needs. And it's interesting too, because we've had a lot of clients that have come into our programs or into our community, and their store and what they're providing in their store for sale is their own likes and wants and needs, manifested or created into certain products. And the whole point is that you're trying to get someone else randomly in the world to buy one of your products, and how can you really hone in on what they like? And we're talking about specifically the designs here, and we're actually going to get now into the right products, because if you don't have the right product also mixed in with the right design, then you're also missing the mark, right? It's super important to provide the proper product too, because if, for example, you are targeting, like we had in the other example, as a wedding planner or a wedding or a bride or someone who is designing, creating a wedding, you're not going to create and make let's say a skateboard right away, or I'm thinking about other things like maybe apparel for sure, but your first item that you're going to choose most likely is the stationery items, because that's the most important thing when it comes to weddings. Then you can go down into all of the other party supplies and the extra accessories, but the one main thing that somebody wants to buy when they are doing a wedding is either a wedding invitation or a save the date, because that's the main product. So, for example, certain audiences or certain people clearly prefer certain and specific products. So, knowing who that person is helps you focus on the best-selling items for them, right? Like I mentioned, you're not going to create a skateboard that's a wedding theme as a wedding gift for a woman. Maybe this person likes skateboarding, but you're clearly going to design a wedding invitation first. And I just picked that randomly.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So, but yes, no, creating the specific designs that are the best selling items for them first to capitalize on what their wants and needs are. And then you can add additional products in your store that can be at a little bit of add-ons and like the small accessories that they might then be sort of interested in buying, because you're grouping all these products together and you're giving them that offering.
So on top of that, though, like you can't, we say what are the audiences preferring in terms of specific products, but you also have to understand what they need so you can be helpful and not deceptive. And the weirdest thing is like, yeah, you can literally guide them in the wrong direction. For example, if keep with the wedding, a bride all of a sudden realizes I need wedding invitations. They have no clue as to what they need, right? So you can be helpful by putting your wedding invitation on the right kind of product so that in the end, they've made the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
Very big example is for a long time after COVID, Zazzle had budget wedding invitations, right?
Yeah.
And everyone went for those. And there were so many customer complaints and so many people were upset because when they finally got them, they were excited that they got a deal, but they were not happy once they actually got the invitations because they were garbage paper, right? And so what you really need to do is not sacrifice your, like just because you want to make a quick sale, You don't want an unhappy customer. So you want to be able to like either, give them in ahead of time, this is the expectation. If you buy these, then it's going to be on a lesser quality paper. If you want more substantial paper, you have to use the 5x7 paper flat card. And I have this here in my store. Like you literally need to be able to educate the customer like that so they can make an informed decision. Obviously, you don't have to, say this is the only thing I offer or whatever. If they do want the budget, they can do it, but let them be informed initially in order to really make the decision on their own. But also guide them and say, listen, the 5x7 is the standard. It's always been there. It's the best option. Yes, it's probably a shocker to have to pay that price because you're new to weddings, but this is what is needed. And so you have to make it it's not just a matter of preference, because preference will always be guided by price. It's also education, so that in the end, because they have expectations, you have to allow them to make those choices. Okay. Awesome.
And we actually have a question that's online here that's a little bit relevant to what we're just talking about. So Petals and Son, I get a little stuck on who I'm selling to. I'm not sure if my products will attract my ideal customer. Doesn't that come with time and experience? And an example is luxury wedding invitations versus budget.
Yeah, but your customer can be both of those, or you can decide, and that was what I was going to get to next, is you can decide not to offer budget, right? You just stick to the luxury, and instead of you thinking, oh, I'm going to miss out on all these people buying budget, no, you're just not going to end up interacting or attracting the budget people.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you're going to miss out, whereas in the end, we had a lot of clients who decided to go budget, and they're paying for it now. They're paying for it with less sales. They're paying for it with people like associating that brand, which is your store, with bad product. And so, yeah, you have to make a decision as a business owner. Do I want that? And am I prepared for the consequences if it goes sour, right? Okay.
Yeah, and I think too, it says I'm not sure if my products will attract my ideal customer. You have to define your ideal customer first and then create the products that will attract that person, right? So if you want to be in the luxury wedding invitation niche where people have the money to spend on multiple different items and, invite 500 guests, those people exist out there. You just have to provide the product that will attract them and level up either your design skills or the products that you're offering in your store, so the person who is looking for that comes across your store and feels, welcomed by your brand and your homepage and all of the products that you offer. Because if you're offering, low level designs or designs that wouldn't attract that luxury wedding invitation purchaser, then yes, you're not going to attract that type of person. It's just all about making sure that you're offering what you like. If you perceive somebody who's there and says, is somebody buying from Walmart or is somebody buying from Louis Vuitton? If you want to attract the Louis Vuitton buyers, then you clearly have to up level your product and your offerings to be at their standards, right?
Yeah. And it's very much like it's very dependent on the design, right? You've picked the product, which is a good product. It's a 5x7. Like Zazzle gives you the chance to offer it in multiple different paper types and stock types. So that's like the minimum standard, which will already attract a luxury buyer, especially since the luxury buyer has the opportunity to up level, right? And so you've got that covered. And even the more budget buyer is willing to pay for the 5x7, especially if you don't offer the same design on a budget paper, right? So you're literally already making it clear based on your product type as to who you're attracting. But then, as Jen said, the most important thing is make sure that those designs on that paper are also like attracting that buyer, and it's very clear, wow, this looks luxury, right? Yeah. Okay, so what's the next thing? Because we really
got
great.
a question. We like to interact with the people here too. So if I have no products yet, do I just pick a customer and try to attract them?
Yes. However, what we would like you to do, and we talked about that earlier, is you've got to have some insider information, right? Otherwise, you're just stabbing in the dark. So if there's anything that you love or that you're interested in as a hobby or have more insider information as a customer yourself in terms of a particular niche or niche, that's going to serve you and get you a higher chance of selling quicker because you're already more aware of the insider intel on that particular whatever you want to call it, niche, department, area of expertise, customer buying group, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. It's just that will help you, because otherwise you have to do a lot more research to identify with that customer that you're trying to attract, right?
Mhm.
Otherwise you're just like making products and you have no, like, always base your decisions and your actions on data. And so in this case, data is the research. What does, like, if you pick a customer now, like you pick Jen, and you
Mhm.
go like, okay, I got to research Jen. She has a dog. She has a partner. She, is like, what's happening in her life right now? That's your avatar, right? So then you go like, okay, those are all these things. So I could, attract her by creating cool pictures or things with photos on them so that she could switch her photo, that sample photo, with her dog Cooper. Or, she might be getting married soon, and so she might be interested in weddings. If that's my thing that I can provide information for and be better at designing in weddings, then I'll do that. But if you're not, you go like, whew, never done anything about weddings, have no clue, then don't go there, right? That's
Mhm.
really important. Okay.
Yeah. So the next one here is that we have a point that says it makes your store more recognizable and cohesive. So this ties in with your brand. And, when you if you go into some people's stores on Zazzle and you see everything is all clean lined and modern and minimalistic, and it looks very on point, and it feels comfortable being in that store. And that person who is in that store is attracted because their style is modern and minimalistic, and they're, it's visually appealing. They will be more attracted to looking in your store and searching for more products and sticking with your store rather than going to somebody else's store and looking on the Zazzle marketplace, versus somebody's store where, let's say, all of their cover photos or categories are all mismatched. And when you go onto their product pages, there's just a whole bunch of things where it's very confusing and overwhelming to navigate. You really have to think about the fact that this customer of yours, not only are they searching for a certain type of design and product type, like we just mentioned, but when they come to your store, do they feel like warm and fuzzy being there? Or is there something that's going to deter them and make them feel like maybe you're not a reputable designer or seller on Zazzle? It's the
Or just
weirdest thing.
or just even like overwhelm, right? Like
Well,
if
that too, yeah, overwhelm of so many different things, right? That if you're offering like different design theme styles, then different product types, then you're targeting a whole bunch of things. That being said, you're able to have a store that focuses on weddings, occasions, Christmas, all of that stuff, and also evergreen products, but it has to have this overall cohesiveness with your brand,
yes.
right?
And yeah, it's actually very difficult to understand because most people um, can't sort of step outside of their own, you know, area to just see how a shopper would look at what you're doing, right? Because you're all excited because you get to put products up and the sky's the limit, and Zazzle doesn't say like, well, maybe you shouldn't put that one up, but you should definitely put this one up. So no one gives you guidance. Well, that's why one of the reasons our coaching works so well is because we give you guidance, right? And it's not like we know everything and this is going to make you sell or not sell. It's not that. It's more that we have a lot of excuse me, I have to cough yeah.
I wasn't sure where else I was going with it. We have a lot of clients that have, well, first of all, I'll tell my little story is that I was trying to figure out my brand over and over again. And I had spent multiple months and years trying to work on my logo and work on my store categories and just make it feel good for me. But
Yeah,
I didn't realize that I was doing it for myself rather than trying to think about who I was selling to,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's the really important part is you have to make the other person who's looking at your brand or wants to, like, they, because people buy with emotion, right? They don't buy it's pretty or perfect. They buy, oh, this person gets me, or
Yeah.
how is this person so like me? Right? Like those are the statements you want someone to say when they come to your store. Or even just when they're looking at a product that you made that's in the mix of all these other products that are on the Zazzle marketplace as a sort, right? If someone goes, I don't know why, but they all have wildflowers, but this one really resonates with me, then you've locked it in, right? You've literally connected with that buyer that is the ideal buyer for you. And that takes trial and error, but if that's always your mission statement and your purpose and you're striving for that, you will get there, because that is the key. It's like no matter what marketing book you read, any successful business owner that you check in with, and like, how the heck did you do this? Clear messaging and specific to a very targeted audience so that people actually go like, this is for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, for example, a store focused on minimalist home decor will attract buyers who appreciate modern aesthetic, while boho style brand will appeal to a different type of crowd. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Now, as Jen said, and we want to qualify this, is you can still have a brand and then have offshoots, right?
Yeah.
So it's not limiting you with your brand that you need to like always do everything minimal. Because like I got into monograms and then I was like, can't I do another thing besides monograms? They're coming out of my ears. I can't handle it anymore, even though that made me the money. And yeah, I guess I can sort of take a bit of credit for the fact that so many people have monograms now, because I started that on Zazzle. But why not? Because it's like a site where you can personalize things. So of course I'm going to put monograms up, and they just took off for me. But the idea here is that then afterwards I realized I can do other stuff besides monograms. I just have to stick to my own design aesthetic that I liked, that attracted that original set of buyers, because they also don't need everything monogrammed. They can have some stuff that isn't monogrammed and still be my customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Don't want you to make it restrictive. And a lot of people go like, well, if I have a wedding store, can I not do business, or can I not do this? And it really depends on what niche or niche you decide to go into. But a lot of things can very much be justified and explained based on your current like design aesthetic and what you're offering in each of the niches. They could actually be put together. It's very rare that something just really clashes and really should be two different stores. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next point is that it improves SEO and discoverability. So think about titles and tags, and those search words that you're associating with comes down to what we just talked about: themes, product choices, then creating that brand. So if you are targeting, now we'll follow through with that minimalistic, modern type of person. So you're going to use the words that they speak out loud and that they search for, versus somebody who's doing boho and rustic or farmhouse, cottage core, all of those things. So when you know who you're selling to, you can use the right keywords and descriptions to match how they search for products, right?
And it makes SEO so easy all of a sudden, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because for example, if you have a rustic farmhouse style of a store and you're creating all these really cool, that's just everything rustic farmhouse. You could be doing occasions, you could be doing home decor, all those things. Your verbiage and the words that you use to describe those products are things that those people who like that type of style are going to literally have in their brain to search in the Zazzle marketplace or search on Google, right? Versus somebody else who wants more of the retro, versus someone who wants more minimalistic, etc. And so those keywords, it's the reason why we're talking about how you like who you need to know who you're selling to, is because you need to know what they're looking for, right? If somebody wants, very important. How they talk, how they speak, what they are thinking of, and why they would be searching for something. So for example, a business owner searching for custom office supplies will use terms like modern business cards or professional logo notebooks, while a teacher may be searching for something else like cute classroom stickers, etc. Very important, right? The verbiage and the words are very different, even though the product types they could be searching for are the same, right? A teacher and a business person could be looking for a sticker because they need stickers for their business or stickers for their classroom, but the words that they're using are completely different.
Yes.
Okay. And then the next one is it helps you stand out in a competitive market, right? And we talked, like, this is one big topic. We actually just recorded a video yesterday. It's probably coming out very soon about is the market too saturated on Zazzle? Like, can you still compete? Is it like, are you able to then now come into Zazzle 2025 and make a name for yourself and actually make money? We can never make any income claims, but what we can say is that you can still compete, right? Zazzle is still flourishing and thriving. And because there is so much competitiveness, it means that there's also demand for all of those things. And also, you are your own unique individual designer. And every single one of you who is online with us right now watching this, or if you're going to watch the replay, you could be given a task to create, let's say, a modern business card, and each and every single one of you would have a different version of it because you have your own influences of your own passions, your desires, who your target market is, who your avatar is, and who you're trying to sell to, right? And so this is now more on your own side of being a designer, is that you can attract a person who is a modern minimalist type of person who likes that theme, but your influence as the seller and designer will make it different than other people's designs out there, right? So, and then
Yeah, even stand out within that same sort of thing. Like Jen's using modern minimalist, but even
yeah.
within, let's say, modern minimalist, it seems like you wouldn't be able to stand out, but you can based
Mhm.
on your own designing skills and what you bring to the table.
Yeah. And this is just a word of, encouragement to everybody, that is instead of trying to please everyone, because that's what overwhelm comes from, is that you come into the Zazzle marketplace and you're like, oh goodness, I don't have this. This is popular now. I need to have all these products. Like, it's just being thrown at you that you can get onto the marketplace and all of a sudden be paralyzed because you have this fear that you are not able to compete because you don't have everything that's out there. Well, instead of trying to focus on everyone and everything that's offered on the Zazzle marketplace, focus on your person, focus on your specific customer who you're trying to serve. And that will really give you more confidence about creating those designs and feeling like you're doing the right thing, right? Because a lot of our clients and people in our community have those doubts and worries that they ask themselves, like, am I, is this worth it? Am I making the right decision? Is this going to translate into some sort of results? And those fears and those doubts are because you don't have that confidence yet.
Yeah.
But you just have to really feel good about what you're doing and stick with it.
And that's like Jen just said, that those are the people that are in our community. They start out like that, just
Yeah.
to make it
Got
clear.
it.
No, they're not like in our training and then they're still have doubts. That's the whole point, is to be in a community, to bounce ideas off of other people that have already gone before you, who have more research and intel, and can just in a second, like if someone gives us a design now, we go like, okay, that's going to work, or ooh, go back to the drawing board. And it's not like Jen and Elka are gods. It's just that we've had years and years of experience of many, many failures. And also, then it worked for us because of the things we changed and did and up leveled. But then when we also helped our clients, we've seen that gradation, right? We've seen them travel from like struggling to really excelling, because it's never that they can't do it. It's just that they don't know what level to bring it to. And also, if they don't have a certain skill set, then if they learn the skill set, it's amazing how much they can offer, right? After they understand what they need and what they need to deliver, that they can really up level their skill sets and ability to offer things that maybe they wouldn't have been able to offer if they hadn't have gotten the extra training, not only skill set wise, but research wise, intelligent wise, like intel wise, like the insider information. Okay.
Mhm. The
All
next
right.
one is that it leads to more repeat customers. If you think about it, when your designs match your audience, like we said, the audience, but your customers' needs, they're more likely to return for future purchases. And the transition of, let's say, if you are in the wedding market, it's an interesting one because you can provide wedding invitations, and you can provide the bridal shower invitations, and you can provide baby shower invitations. You could then even provide like a moving house invitations, or all of those things. Like, the progression of what your customer is living through in their lifestyle and the years throughout when they are that person, right? It just doesn't mean that you have to provide these one things. And this is coming back to what Elka mentioned with the monograms, that can I move into something different? Well, somebody who enjoys the monogram might enjoy something else of an elegant pattern or something related to that sort of lifestyle. And so somebody coming to your store, like I've had personally repeat customers on certain products that can be used throughout the year, and they come back every single year to refresh these products because they hold an event each year, and because they are satisfied with my product, the design, and also clearly the quality from the Zazzle product that is being manufactured, then they seek out to come to my store because they know that it worked for them. They're not going to shy away from my product and try and find something new and different because they're comfortable with what they are getting, and they feel like that it's reliable. And so if you can think about that, that not only can you have somebody who's a repeat customer buying new additional products from your store because they are now transitioning through different like life experiences, but also have people who come back and are repeat customers. For example, if you have business cards in your store, business cards are a great seller because people buy business cards, then they give them out, then they need to buy more business cards to give them to more people. And so if that customer is satisfied with your particular design on a business card and they feel confident in the store quality, etc., then they're going to come back to your particular store rather than finding somebody else on Zazzle.
I've even had people come back to me and message me and say, well, my friends really liked what I had for my wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're going to do this, like you're going to use your designs for their wedding in like a year from now, right? So it really snowballs, whether it's a repeat customer coming back for the same thing, or it's a repeat customer because they liked one thing and now they're in a different stage of life and they trust you as a seller. So if you have those offerings in your store, then they'll just come back and go like, oh, she also has baby showers invitations because now I'm pregnant, like I just got married, now I'm pregnant. And same sort of thing with like referral to friends and to people who are experiencing the product, right? Like it could be also a guest that was at the wedding and they go like, who did your wedding invitations? And then it just snowballs after that. That is the best form of getting out there and getting so much traffic coming back and extra people buying from you. And that's what helps you scale, really. Okay.
We have a question here. So how do we know when it's a good time to add a new niche to our store? Should we wait until we see sales in the first niche?
Really good question. It really depends on where you're at in your Zazzle journey. If you're an absolute beginner, lock in that first niche. Make sure it's really doing well if you chose it correctly, right? If you chose a niche or niche that really doesn't suit you anyway, you don't want to stay in this much longer than you need to because everyone's in agony because people aren't going to be happy with your products and you're going to be unhappy designing. But if you're getting that to really work, then as soon as it starts to like make sales, and I can't say, after 10 sales, this is what's going to happen. You don't want to do that. But if you just say, look, I'm getting consistent sales and I understand it now. I think I can continue to hold on to that and keep growing and scaling that niche or niche. And then I would move to add another one. A lot of the things that you make and do in your first niche anyway are things that you can then transfer to another niche very easily by proof of concept from your first niche. So we do a lot of work with our clients for that. We're not going to give away all our secrets here, but definitely that would be something to think about, that, hey, if something's working in one, it might work in another. So you can go and explore that. And that's how you would then move into that niche. It's not a matter of, I made it here, it's not selling, I'll try a different one. That would be a waste of time because if it's going to sell, it's going to sell in whatever niche you started out with as a proof of concept. And once it starts to sell, that's when you go like, well, maybe it'll also work in the other niche, and then give that a shot. It's not a guarantee, but it's a really great strategy. Okay.
Yeah. And then that kind of ties into this point here, which says saves time and effort on design creation. So for example, instead of making random designs that may never sell, you can focus on what your audience actually wants, leading to higher sales with less effort. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And for example, if you know that fitness enthusiasts love motivational water bottles, you can create a full collection of gym-related products instead of wasting time on unrelated designs, right? It's very much understanding who your audience is, and then you can just streamline it. And the best thing about Zazzle, to be honest, is that first of all, they offer over 1,500, 1,600 different product types and styles. And they also have the opportunity for you to create one product and then transfer that design once you've created that product to another version of that product. For example, let's say if we're talking about water bottles, they have different styles of drinkware that you can put your design on that one glassware or that one water bottle, then easily say, okay, transfer to the other style and post that product for sale within 2 minutes, not even, because you don't really have to change, titles and tags, etc., as long as you've got them down pat. And then that's two individual products made with the one design, and they cater to two different types of people. One person who maybe wants this type of water bottle versus the other style of water bottle, or this type of, they have a whole bunch of drinkware. So this type of champagne glass versus this stemless wine glass. Although the image or the graphic or the design is still the same, the product type is different. And Zazzle's platform allows you to literally just transfer it to another design super easy. It's the most amazing process, because other platforms, I'm not too sure if that's available for them, but you can make 15 different products catering to 15 different types of people, but they are all related to, let's say, the gym, enthusiasts, but they have the different product types and the design is still the same. So it really streamlines your saving time and being more effective on your design creation.
But what's really cool is it's opposite from what you would normally do on another print-on-demand site like Redbubble or Society6, where you literally have your design and you're just putting it up for the first time. And then you right away have to choose which products you want to put it on. And I call it slapping it on because that's what you're doing. There's no thought, no process, no data, coming right back to our original thing that we said at the beginning of this training is you've got to work on data. So only like if you have them all out there, your brain actually goes like, I have all these products, how come they're not selling? Whereas if all you really do is you say very focused, very researched, very data-oriented decisions at the beginning will actually allow you to then be able to test and see if it works. And if it does, then you've got the data to say, I'll add it to these other products. So that's so cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just put in the chat asking people if they're new to Zazzle, because we want to just kind of get a feel for that, because we're wrapping up soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just finished the POD starter kit. Awesome. Give us some feedback on that.
Yeah.
Monique. Okay, Monique. Well, we know who you are. We just didn't know it was Petals and Sun. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and you're new too. Scaredy cat, or is it nerdy cat? Anyway, so welcome. And if this is starting to feel overwhelming to you, then there's ways to just start by taking the first step. And we do have a lot of options for you, including, and if you want to get into it, Jen, you want to do or do we have more to talk about here?
There's a couple more, but we have been on for a while, so we can make
another. Yeah.
We can do the last one here. So it helps you market more effectively. So if you know who your audience is, you can promote your designs more effectively on social media, Pinterest or blogs, etc., because you're then able to cater to those types of people, right? So for example, if your target customer hangs out on TikTok, or they would hang out on Pinterest, or they would hang out on Facebook, and using those words associated, like we talked about, titles and tags, you would create social media posts relating to what they might be looking for on the social media platform. So you can use those keywords, right? For example, if you sell wedding invitations, you can create a Pinterest board with wedding planning tips and drive more traffic to your Zazzle store.
Yeah. Basically, it starts at the beginning. And if you get the beginning right, the rest starts to become a lot easier, because a lot of the work has been done because you made those choices and you didn't just try to throw spaghetti against the wall. Instead, everything's been calculated and considered based on data. And then that means that everything else gets to be a lot easier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we want to, now that we have wrapped up and we've talked about why it's so important to know who you're selling to on Zazzle, introduce our Sold Bootcamp for Zazzle sellers. This is an event that we're hosting. It is on March 5th to the 19th. It's a 2-week intensive, which we want to help you move forward exactly like what we're talking about today. We're going to help you figure out who your perfect avatar is, define your brand, figure out your niche, and a lot more other things as well, helping you understand what intentional products are for your niche and helping you with promotion. This is the first step to building the foundations of your Zazzle business, where you will get then personalized feedback from myself and Elka after taking part in 3 different trainings that we're offering, and also a masterclass where we will be prompting you to do some exercises and make products and figure
Homework.
out your brand. Sorry?
Doing homework.
Doing homework, yes. Well, yes, doing homework because it's a boot camp. And then Elka and I will be giving you personalized video reviews on your homework. It'll be hosted in a Facebook group where you'll be getting to know the community within that group. And then we will be hosting daily mindset calls and these 3 intensive trainings, plus the masterclass and the personalized reviews. Yes.
Which is going to get you to the next step, right? The questions that you all had here were great, but it's very clear that you're stuck, right? You're stuck at a certain spot, and all you have at this point is the understanding of what your past history is and any sort of exposure you've had to other training or even our training, but you're not any further than you are currently, right? And so whatever it is that you're stuck at right now, to get you to the next step is what this Sold Bootcamp is going to do for you. Because partly, even though Jen is talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to also, by doing these things, be able to identify where you're stuck. Because you might say you have an avatar, you might say you have a niche that you're deciding on, you might even say you have a brand and a logo, but does it kind of all work together? Is it supporting your efforts? Is it a base on which you can grow and scale? All of these things are important, and a second set of eyes or 3 pairs of eyes, because it's not only Jen and I, but it's also our team who are all gold and up designers. They are going to be part of this, and we're all going to give you feedback, right? Not each of you giving you 3 different types of feedback, but we're all in the community together. We've got 2 weeks together. We're just going to be able to see where you're stuck and give you the next step to get unstuck, which is that something you want? And if that's something you want, make sure you sign up. We do have a limited capacity. We want to make sure that we get a chance to help everybody. So first come, first serve. And we have even some bonuses for you signing up early, which are in the link in the bio or in the description. So you can go check that out, and then you can definitely see whether this is right for you. But for Monique, you're welcome to join. But since you just did the print on demand starter kit, it's probably a little bit beyond your. You should just come into the PTA whenever you're ready. But everybody else who's coming in, especially if you're a beginner, this is going to be awesome for you, because this is high level. What we just talked about for 50 minutes was it was very much a master class in how to sell, but it was very knowledge based. What do you need? So this Sold Bootcamp is, how do I do it?
Mm-hmm.
What is and why do I do it? Right? Because that's going to help you make those choices.
Mm-hmm. So join us, like I mentioned, March 5th to the 19th. If you sign up now, you get access to early bonus pre-training, which we're hosting on March 3rd and 4th as well. And the link to join is in the description of this video. I also posted it in the comment section. So wherever you are looking and watching this video, you can click that link and join. We can't wait to see you in the Sold Bootcamp. It's an amazing experience. You'll come out there with more clarity and confidence about the direction that you're going in, and build the foundations to what you will in the future call your Zazzle business. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and spending the time with us, and we will see you in the Sold Bootcamp. Bye.